Yeah, I just wanted to ask you, like, personally, I've been upset by the Obama administration and the Department of Justice as well, especially regarding the torch issue. But with the appointment of this special prosecutor that's supposed to be looking into the CIA, it seems to me that special prosecutors never stay within the bounds of what they're supposed to be looking at, and they always continue to overreach and to look for somebody higher up that they can possibly get into. And I'm at least hopeful that this could lead to something more, that we actually could end up maybe prosecuting Bybee and John Yo and some of these other people. But, I mean, do you think that's a total long shot, or is there any other hope for it?
I think we have an absolute moral responsibility to fight and work our butts off to make that happen. I'm fond of the saying, let's save our pessimism for better times, right? I mean, I don't give a damn if it's hopeful or unlikely or unlikely. We have an absolute moral responsibility to work to make that happen, right? So we have to put more pressure than ever on the Justice Department to expand. Yeah, the prosecutor can try to go beyond what's been laid out before him, but he's been told very explicitly, on television no less, by both the Attorney General and the President, these guys have immunity. Now, he can try to go around that, and he absolutely should, and there's some chance he will, but there's a much better chance if there's a big public outcry for it. And if we are demanding it in the media and at the Justice Department and through Congress, Congress should be demanding it. There should be resolutions demanding it. There should be impeachments pursuing these same people. There should be subpoenas and hearings. Simply subpoena Jay Bybee and haul him into Washington and make him talk. You know, if they do the prosecution, you know, they're going to have to work to avoid moving up because people are going to talk about each other. But they're going to not do the prosecution at all if they have any chance of that. That's their goal, is to not do it at all. To put it off, and then not do it. But if they're forced to do it, and they try to restrain it to those targeted bad apples and leave the higher-ups immune, they'll figure out a way to make that happen. But, you know, we have an increased chance of forcing an expansion because these people are going to talk about each other. Some of them are already out there talking about each other. And a lot may come out through Spain and maybe elsewhere.
Now, this whole thing started in 2002. How long do we have before, you know, before we can't prosecute them anymore in the United States for those crimes? What's the statute of limitations?
Crimes that lead to death, there's no statute of limitations. So you assassinate somebody or you torture somebody and oops, they died. There's no statute of limitations. But you torture somebody and they don't die, then it's typically 8 years. And you can try to extend where that clock starts ticking. It doesn't have to necessarily start ticking when the water was poured up the nose. It can be when other further steps were taken to conceal a conspiracy and so forth. But you have to win that argument. Most crimes is 5 years. It's 5 years. If you go to prosecutebushcheney.org, which is part of afterdowningstreet.org, it has all that information on all the statutes of limitations on all the crimes, as well as all available information on every possible angle to prosecute these people federally, state and local and civil and foreign and international, and so forth. And there are a lot of angles we can work on, and I think we have to work on them. But Congress doesn't want to help. You know, the pretense they made that they wanted impeachment in 2005 and 2006 when they were in the minority was a pretense. The pretense they made that they cared about oversight at all in 2007 and 2008 was largely a pretense. Now, they don't really care about much of anything. We have further to push them. Right now, they're focused on reauthorizing the Patriot Act. Right? So we have a big hill to climb, but we have more information out there, we have more organizations on our side, we have all the human rights groups that would never touch impeachment, still won't touch wars, but are all over torture prosecution. We have media outlets on our side. You know, the New York Times said Jay Biden should be impeached, and they still wouldn't do it. We have a lot of forces combined that we can use to pressure the Congress. But to think that, you know, some Congress member is where he or she was a year or 3 ago is not necessarily the case. Yeah.
And I don't want to take away from my question, but I'm just going to follow up on your point, because I think it's very interesting what you're suggesting about the Congress. But my question would be, it's against federal law to torture. That law was passed in the late 90s, if I remember correctly. The Republicans put it in place and Clinton signed it. And I think it's punishable by death if you are convicted of this law. And my question is why is it that we're relying on the Attorney General to make this move? Why isn't there some state Attorney General, maybe the state Attorney General for, where is it? Is Biden in California?
Nevada.
Oh, Nevada,
California,
okay.
Oregon. I mean, he's
But
West
someone that could bring charges against him. Why isn't there a rogue Attorney General out there that could be petitioned to actually file federal charges against this guy and arrest him at the bench? Because judges get arrested at the bench from time to time for much lesser charges.
There are groups like the National Lawyers Guild and a group that I work with called Velvet Revolution that are filing disbarment complaints against all of these lawyers, that are filing complaints with the Ninth Circuit in Biden's case, that are trying all angles to get them removed or held accountable in some way, or even have a slap on their wrist. There are state laws in most states that would ban torture. There are state laws in most states that ban warrantless spying. Most people in most states have been warrantlessly spied on. There is an argument made by a well-known former prosecutor, Vince Bugliosi, that you could prosecute at the state or local level for murder for the launch of the war in Iraq, which led to the inevitable death of U.S. servicemen and women in any district from which a soldier went and died, which is most parts of the country. There are all sorts of angles. I can't explain to you exactly why we don't have an attorney general or a prosecutor with any nerve or decency in this country. We're moving in that direction. We have some decent court rulings in recent weeks on civil cases that people like Ashcroft and you can be held accountable by some of their victims for what they did, which is encouraging. We're starting to see a little bit of a change in the culture. But these people don't follow laws. They follow the culture. They follow the demands of the public. They follow the preferences of the higher-ups who can appoint them to higher positions as their career progresses. And we have to keep putting that pressure on. There are 2 statutes in the U.S. Code that ban torture, all torture, at all times. The anti-torture statute and the anti-war crimes statute. Both make the crime a felony. Both involve death or life in prison, or